Goose morning, everyone! Y'all heard of this One Piece live action? I watched the first season when it came out, and as an avid One Piece fan, I think it's a dandy way to absorb the story of One Piece in a compact fashion. Granted, I have some issues with OPLA, as some people call it, but that could be a whole different video, and it probably is a whole different video on other people's channels. They'd probably be able to say it better than me. It's certainly good enough, I'll say, and with Season 2 coming out next year, there is a lot of questions I have for it. How much more will be adapted, what characters are getting changed up or removed, and what story beats are just getting rewritten altogether. My biggest interest and concern regarding Season 2 has come from a singular character alone, a character who's consistently been one of my favorites, and a major player in the story. Of course, I mean Captain Smoker. But we haven't seen any clips of him yet, really, and he's not really the focus of this video. What we're really talking about today is Tony Chopper. It was only a few days ago that the clip of Chopper's live-action appearance dropped online. Well, as of writing this, of course. It'll probably be like a month from then by the time this is uploaded. Video production is weird, huh? Anyways, Chopper showed up and did a little dance, and he did all the little Chopperisms. It was very cute and swag. Even though he feels considerably different from the manga design, I don't know how else they could have done it with both the medium they're working with as well as the aesthetics of the show. So I was content with how he looked, and I figured that, most people online would hate it because, you know, it's the internet. That was very much not the case. Usually this sort of thing is super lopsided and people either hating it or loving it, but from what I've seen, it's been received pretty positively. Normally this would be the kind of thing that is received super bad. But don't worry, the negative feedback is there. And wow, is it there, oh boy. It's the type of backlash I don't really understand. Well, I do get it, but you sort of need to be realistic. A lot of people are calling him ugly, a ton of people saying he looks inaccurate, and my favorite, my absolute favorite, people keep posting that picture of Ugly Sonic from that first Sonic movie trailer as if these two are remotely comparable. Like, the live-action Chopper looks like a fairly faithful recreation of the original design, and doesn't make nearly as many missteps as that original Sonic design. That's something I've noticed too. People using that ugly Sonic image for an increasing amount of stuff, even if it doesn't have any sort of relation. I just don't understand it. Okay. This was originally going to be a lame-ass video just talking about how the live-action Chopper looks fine and people are overreacting, but I've changed my mind, because I am so tired of seeing this stupid image whenever something is made that someone doesn't like the look of. It's annoying, it's redundant, and it's not constructive conversation. You can't just call everything you don't find aesthetically pleasing ugly Sonic. That original incident was a set event that I don't think has been repeated since then, but people really clung on to that first trailer and keep trying to use it in scenarios where it just does not make sense. Basically anything that uses CGI, live action or otherwise, that is based off of some book, manga, video game, or even another older movie, runs the risk of being bombarded with the same two images of that original movie Sonic design. Applying that to everything makes the actual term itself become meaningless. Because of how often it's used in these scenarios, whether it applies to it or otherwise, it just loses its original connotations. It's kind of become like a buzzword in a sense. I feel like a lot of people just sort of forgot the reason why Ugly Sonic was such a big deal in the first place. The departure from the original design. Here's Sonic's actual design, and here's Ugly Sonic. Everyone's seen it already, but it helps emphasize my point when actual Sonic is there, right? It is understandable that some compromises need to be made when moving to the big screen. Even the movie design has some of these compromises, like the eyes being separated and the arms being blue instead of tan. But Ugly Sonic is so far detached from the original that it just does not feel like a proper representation of Sonic. Maybe a more comical representation like Sonic or something, but nothing that people would actually want to see. This was a scenario where I feel like the call for a redesign was justified, just due to how far it was from the design of the character who was being adapted. I can't think of a single Sonic fan who would be satisfied with this look in the trilogy of Sonic movies. It's a shame that he ended up getting genuine fans from that shitty Chip and Dale movie. Now that we've seen what the worst of the worst looks like, let me show you some other examples of these adaptation situations. For most live-action adaptations of films with cartoon characters in them, like Yogi Bear or Woody Woodpecker or the Smurfs, things would look weird if they used CGI and had them ignore things like textures of the body, reflections, and things of that sort. When it comes to the adaptations of characters that require CGI, some creative liberties are going to need to be taken for the sake of the aesthetics of that show or movie they're in. That uncanny look is just a staple of these things, and some movies and shows avoid it better than others. Personally, just going the way of Roger Rabbit would avoid that entirely, but whatever. That's kind of why the Chip and Dale movie looked so weird, because it was trying to have the best of both worlds, looking like 2D animation and CGI, but it ended up kind of middling as a result because they didn't really go all the way. You gotta go one way or the other, and people tend to find the 2D animation path too expensive, so just settle for the CGI and just take the heat. But now that Ugly Sonic is a thing, people are using it as if it's something that happens all the time, so suddenly. And sure, maybe it's just given a name to something that's been a thing. Ugly CGI in movies has existed for as long as CGI has, but I cannot say with confidence that anything even remotely comparable to Ugly Sonic has popped up since then. In fact, let's go over a few of the more recent examples of things that have been described as Ugly Sonic, shall we? Just to drive the point home. First, there was the Minecraft movie, which supposedly went through a lot of trouble avoiding the Ugly Sonic curse. Honestly, they did okay. It kind of depends on what from the movie you're looking at. The sheep? Yeah, gross. The piglins? They look good. The villagers? Sexy, apparently? It was pretty hit or miss, but I don't think there was anything that looked bad enough to make a big fuss over, especially for a fucking Minecraft movie. Next was that teaser trailer for Shrek 5. This is when I started noticing the Ugly Sonic trend and it started annoying me. DreamWorks posted a teaser for Shrek 5 and what do you know, Shrek looked different. Since, it's been over a decade since the last Shrek movie. But everyone was talking about it like it was the worst thing that happened to any movie ever. Granted, he does look substantially different than he used to, but I don't think it's as grand of a departure from the original design to warrant the Ugly Sonic theatrics. And finally, there's Chopper, who looks exactly how you would expect in live action. His look compared to his original design could be compared to Detective Pikachu from game to movie as well. It's just not something worth making a fuss over because there's nothing to fuss about. Honestly, there's probably a lot of stuff that could retroactively be considered Ugly Sonic territory that I bet is only safe because it came out before that trailer. Stuff like that Alita Battle Angel movie comes to mind. And the fact that these tasteless, whiny, dumb as a bag of hammers drones on Twitter think they're justified in requesting VFX artists and animators to bend over backwards to redo something because a loud-ass minority of Twitter users thought that it didn't look good, when in reality, you never cared in the first place. So why bother giving your 2 cents? I swear that site is a bunch of fucking Statler and Waldorfs mocking everything they see, except they're not even funny, so all it does is put you in a bad mood. God, I gotta fucking delete Twitter. Oh my god. To make a short story shorter, any character making the transition from 2D to 3D is going to look at least a little bit uncanny. That's just the nature of translating characters between mediums. But that doesn't mean it's Ugly Sonic instantly and every time. I understand people's concerns about something they like getting adapted and seen by a broader audience being torn apart because of mistakes made by studio executives, but it's not as simple as posting images of an ugly hedgehog online and saying what you're talking about reminds you of it. There's more nuance to the subject. It's about how well it represents the original. It's about retaining the vibes of the classics. It's about broad appeal. And while it is the namesake, it's not really about being ugly, because these sorts of adaptations are always going to look a little fugly no matter what. And that's okay. But whatever, I'm done talking about this today. This one kind of spiraled out of control pretty fast. From being about One Piece live action to just a rant about how people talk about CGI work and adaptations as a whole. I think this has just proven to me that I gotta get rid of Twitter. It's just so toxic. Everyone just get on Blue Sky. I have an account there. You can follow me there. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm just gonna have my secretary Bonnie show you some art, and I'm gonna talk about some of my other stuff that you might enjoy. You should probably know this by now if you watch my videos. I have a second channel, Goose's Golden Gallery. That's where I post music, art, and then anything that's not long form. I'm gonna put the link in the description there, along with my socials. I post some funny stuff. You don't gotta follow me. It's not really a big deal if you don't. It's whatever. I also have a also down there is going to be a link to my Discord server, the Honk House. That's where me and my friends and my viewers hang out and talk, share art, have oddly deep discussions, have game nights and stuff. It's pretty cool. Also, hey, what about becoming a headliner? That's what I call channel members. You get access to a ton of stuff, like emotes on streams, first dibs on watching new videos, votes to decide on the priority of specific uploads, a private channel in the Discord server, your name in the credits of videos, and a doodle alongside your name in the credits. To get that doodle, though, you'll have to join the Discord server to let me know how you'd like me to draw your head. Or I guess I could make a post about it that's members only and you could tell me, but that just doesn't seem very useful if there's like 1 million members. I mean, there aren't, there's like 3, but you know. Finally, if you have any fan art of me you'd like to share, tag me in it on social media or post it in the channel of my Discord server and I'll put it at the end of my videos, with credit of course. Okay, I think that's everything from me today. My name is Goose, I thank you very much for watching, and not gonna lie, Chopper in the live action kind of reminds me of Paddington. Is anyone else getting that vibe? Just me? Okay. Anyways, have a goose night.